reviews, discussions, and theories about films in horror, sci-fi, and genre. This is The Horror Deconstruction. Like, share, and subscribe to hear more.
What's up, everybody? It's The Horror Deconstruction. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, most likely on YouTube. Give us a like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon, hit that thumbs up. Let the people know you listen to the show with your host, Komp and
Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy
as well as
Quest.
Thea.
This is a great start to the end of the show. And it is Adios 2022. So here we are saying goodbye to the year that saw a great resurgence in horror and film and cinema
And
and
hello
television.
to 2023. It's also a hello. It's a goodbye hello.
And the sure steep decline of humanity. It's further jumping into the void of darkness as closer and closer we get as a race destroying itself. So what are we going to do today? We're going to ask a couple of questions and recap what material and garbage we've satiated ourselves with this year to keep ourselves busy and uninterested from the inevitable dark looming darkness of the cold
doom of humanity.
void. Yes.
The destruction of life.
So I remember I had to do...
I'm more optimistic this year than I was like a year or two ago.
Yeah, it is a little bit entertainment-wise.
I mean, the first year of COVID, it was like, okay, we're done, like as a human race.
I had to do an interview for a film project I worked on, and I... It was like a text answer thing. It wasn't like... And then when I reread the answers, I was like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, that was like a year ago. I remember you did like an article, yeah.
Yeah. I reread my answers. I was like, this person must think I'm like mentally ill. Like, I know I'm mentally ill, but Jesus Christ.
I mean, you are,
like,
yeah.
It was dark. Okay, so the 7 questions or so we're going to be asking this episode is top 10 horror films of the year, worst horror movies of the year, best monster slasher character of the year, you know, best worst TV shows that we've watched, BECK books, regular TV, movies that we're going to look forward to next year, music and stuff like that. So category we're going to do last, obviously, is top 10 horror films because I'm sure people are waiting with breaths.
And these are the ones, and to be clear, these are the ones that we covered, or just...
Yes, we covered, or if we haven't, even if we didn't do an episode on it, on the show, just stuff that we did this year personally, 3 of us, so we don't like constrain.
Okay.
Because we did a bunch of episodes. I did a bunch for October, because I did the 31 Days of October, which I will never do again. And so let's just go with something that's easy. Best worst TV shows of the years for you guys. Did you guys were you guys into anything, any TV shows this year?
Thea, would you like to start?
Let's, Thea.
Sure. My favorites, I would say, like in terms of horror TV shows specifically.
Or any TV shows or any shows in general.
Well, my top show of the year was Severance. Obsessed with it. It's super dark and sci-fi and fun.
Yeah, it's quirky and a weird show. I got to get into it. Looks really interesting. Directed by Ben
Stiller.
Stiller, correct?
Yep.
Really? Is it a comedy?
He did another
No.
Okay.
He did another show based on a true life event of the guys breaking out of the prison, the guards. Danamora, I think it was.
I like that word,
Right.
cahoots.
It's a good
But
word.
go ahead, Thea. What was so good about Severance?
It is... I mean, I think it really reflected this year, which is like thinking about work-life balance in a weird and dark and sad kind of way. I think those conversations are happening more this year than I've heard them any other time.
So you have no concept of what you are outside of the job, basically, right? You're like, it's essentially like a machine.
Wow, that's just like the most on the nose thing of life I've heard.
Yeah, yeah, and so
else?
and that premise is just they go to the like furthest possible degree, and it all just really worked for me, and it probably one of the best TV finale I've seen in a long time.
Anything else that you watched that was good?
Yeah, Archive 81 was great. I think you guys watched that too, maybe?
Yeah, Archive 81 was a great show.
And there isn't going to be another season, unfortunately.
Nope. Nope. It was a great show. Unfortunately, that will not get a second season because it was like Netflix did a thing this year where it just was
decimating.
It just chopped shows off at the knees. Just like, nope, nothing for you. Cowboy Bebop, no thanks.
For me, I put Stranger Things season 4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the best show.
Because I thought that was incredible. And also Guillermo del Cabinet of Curiosities, which I've still only seen 2 episodes, but one of the episodes was incredible. It
was an incredible
autopsy.
Gulf of difference. Yeah, it was an incredible gulf of difference between the first two episodes, because the first one was sort of like, I like the main actor of it. I forget his name. or Brother, Where Are Thou?
Right.
He's a really good actor. An episode of The Autopsy might be one of the best hours of television.
I mean, that's worth the whole thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And I hear there are other good episodes in the series, but The Autopsy itself is from the director of The Empty Man.
I saw one with Ron from Harry Potter. It was okay.
But The Autopsy itself, that episode, you must, even if you don't watch the show, because they're not, I don't think they're connected in any sense.
No.
They're not.
But that is an incredible episode, very Fincher-esque directed type of episode. And if you haven't seen The Empty Man, just watch it as soon as you can, because that was a film that could have been one of the best horror films of last year, but it got shuffled when Disney bought Fox, and they just kind of skedaddled it. Anything else, Danny? Any shows that you watch?
I haven't finished it yet, but Wednesday I like. It's it's more like
is it good?
show,
Okay.
but I do like it. It's fun.
To me it seems like Sabrina the Teen, that show that came out.
It is
It's a little bit like
still.
that, and like a little Harry Potter-ish, but it's cute. I like it.
Because a little argument that people say about Wednesday is that the whole point of, much like the Munsters, the Addams Family is supposed to be the odd man out. And then when you kind of put odd characters in an odd
Like
setting,
a werewolf
they lose
and all
their,
this. Yeah, no, I
specialness.
understand.
I like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, Jenna Ortega is great.
She's perfect.
Anything else, Danny?
I know you're gonna get annoyed about this, but I chose Langoliers because technically it is a TV series, and we did cover it.
Okay, it was a miniseries. Yeah, there was a re-edit. I sent you the link a while ago.
A re-edit, really?
Yeah, it's very strange.
Did they do better CGI?
No. Well, I don't know. But actually, this makes the film look good. I think it's called it's a line from the show, but they called it the name of the movie. It's called The Saviors of Time or something of Time. But they re-edited the whole film as a paper animation. So they took all the frames and put them on paper. And so I guess it was supposed to be like Bronson Pinchot's character. You know how he tears away the sheets? So the whole film is like that, animated with tearing sheets. And they reconfigure sort of like memories and stuff, and it looks fucking great. And I'm like, I gotta see that film.
I'll check that out.
There you go, The Timekeepers of Eternity. It looks incredible. Just watch a clip of it, and you'd be like, holy fuck, I want to, because it looks like they breathe new life. Yeah, well, maybe we'll do that one. But it looks like they kind of breathed the new life into that film. Because I had problems with that film when I saw it, where it was just sort of boring.
My only problem with it is the Langoliers are the worst CGI ever, but
It is.
It's pretty bad.
Any other shows that you thought were good?
Not horror related, no.
What'd you think of Chucky?
I haven't watched Chucky yet.
Okay, so I thought
really?
Chucky season 2. I thought Chucky season 2 was okay. I think it was a little bit in line with the first film. I think it was a little bit more better put together. And you saw a lot more characters. Original films, character relationships. There was a new character, this young girl with glasses, a key sidekick. That was fun. But there's with the Chucky show, there's no real sort of depth to it that you can kind of like jump in.
I like it.
No, it's fun. It is fun. They give you what you want, and there's like multiple Chucky, so there's different Chuckies in this season, and it feels like it makes sense this time. But I liked it. I thought it was pretty good, and it's worth like what people say about horror characters is that like Chucky is the only one who's still been consistent all these years, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty true. And I thought they did well with them, and they added
any non horror related shows. I watched The Good Place. I like that. I mean, I know it's not new.
I hear people love love it.
It's fun. It's very heartwarming. It's very feel goody.
So shows I did finish. You guys won't know, but JoJo's still an incredible series based on Bizarre Adventure.
What is the spin-off?
No, it's the 6th season. So like it's 5 shows, and they go through different of characters.
Well, I'm only in season 3 still, but yeah. Okay.
Well, the 6th season is basically the complete like end of that series, as in like all the characters and their bloodline stuff. It's great. It's one of the best endings. So that's good. I obviously going back to Thea with Archive 81. I thought that was fucking great. Sucks that it's not coming back. So if you want to listen to the podcast, you can do so. I just started the 2nd season of Alice in Borderland, which is a show everyone should watch. Which came out before Squid Games, which is basically people transported out of our world into kind of big game world. It's not as colorfully flashy as Squid Game, but it's a really, really good show that I really think you should check out. So the first season, this season watching is really good. I started Interview with the Vampire. I've only gotten up to episode 3, and I enjoy it because I really loved the original film with Tom Cruise.
Is it more accurate to the books?
I don't.
In a sense, yeah. They made it a lot more gayer in the show because in the books, which is fine. In the books, the vampires could not have sex because their sexual organ you couldn't use.
Yeah, but they do a lot of stuff
Yeah,
you can still do a lot. I mean, there's
they don't suck
there's
each
one
other.
scene where
they get horny.
Lestat,
No, I understand. I'm just saying from the book.
Lestat eats out
someone
to taste their blood in one book.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that woman wasn't a vampire. I think
no, she wasn't.
Was
she was on her
right?
period, and he ate her out.
Right, so I'm sure he was. Well, I mean, that's like eating lunch, but with like for vampires at least.
It's like a snack. It was like Melba toast or something.
But vampires themselves can't get aroused sexually, but in the show, man, are they banging like monkeys? Show they're having sex every 5 seconds. The Lestat in that is different from the one in the films, but I like his actor. He feels obviously a little bit more French than the one in the film series but he's fucking good. He's really good. And then the Louis. People were complaining about race-changing Louis, but I think his character is great. He's from He's Grey Worm.
Was he supposed to be like a slave since it all started back in that time period?
No. He was one of the, I guess. Yeah. There's no slaves at that time. This is like after.
No, it starts in like
the show is not that.
in like the 1700s or something.
No, but it's a different era. Different. This is way after slavery. Yeah, it's a different framing of the situation. But he's one of the richer from back then. You know.
In like the north or whatever. Regardless. Okay, cool.
But it looks like the budget is really well done. It's like super gory. I was surprised at how gory it is. It's almost like they weren't that gory in the show, in the books, as rampantly killing priests and shit any sense. But I guess you got to keep it interesting. Anyway, moving on. What else did I see? I don't think that's it for that. I don't think Well, hold on. Chainsaw Man, Danny, go watch that show. You'll show Chainsaw Man.
I've seen a lot of memes of it.
It's a really good show. Believe me, it's good. Anyway, okay, so what's the next one? The best slasher or characters from horror films this year?
Jean Jacket from Nope.
Okay, that's great. Movie. You haven't seen Nope yet? Didn't we? We didn't review that too?
No, you guys did. I didn't.
So we're not spoiling it. Jean Jacket is a great fucking...
I like the name.
Thing. Yeah. Just watch it, Danny. You'll enjoy it.
I actually have no idea what it's even about.
Yeah.
That's the best way to watch
That's how I love going into movies, honestly.
So if you have more than one character that you like this year, please bring it up. Obviously, I know Danny's right because he's one of my favorite characters already.
What's he going to say?
Ahead, Danny.
I'm going to say Art the Clown.
Of course.
Very much.
He is like a solid... I mean, the first movie and like the other two short films, they were like whatever, but like this movie, like he's a solid... He will, if they could franchise him, like he's like as good as like any of the other main guys.
Director Damien Leone just got his, I think he got a new rep, so he got signed with a.
Hopefully he doesn't like take it into like Jason Goes to Space territory, but
He got he in the third film. I'm sure he's going to answer more questions because my thing is I think that. Damien Leone has a lot of potential as a director. He just needs to tighten up the writing and stuff like that.
He should let somebody else like work on his scripts, honestly. But I mean, it was he's a great because he like doesn't talk, but he's like so fucking like cartoony
Art's great. Like it's very hard to break out a new character that's like a slasher icon. They're all derivative from one another, and he's a clown, and that's pretty derivative already. But the choices that they made aesthetically with Art are just fucking great.
Yeah, it's like perfect.
An interesting character, I'm not saying this is a good character, but an interesting character that I thought was really fascinating was in Barbarian, which is Justin Long's character. Because I thought Barbarian was a movie that like grows on you on time, because people say, oh, it's one of the best. Yeah. But it was a different effect for me, but Barbarian, I was like so fascinated with that film, because Justin Long's character is... it's a character that you're like, okay, maybe I can hope that this person is good, but he always like proves in my thought that they suck. and that's what I thought was so fascinating, because it was a character that actually had depth to them. As surface levels as it seems in the film, there's a lot more to that character, and I like that they had that type of character in the film. Like I was just fascinated, especially Justin Long's performance in the movie. That at one moment I was like, yeah, he's not horrible. Maybe he did a mistake.
He's gonna turn the ship around.
Right, but that ship he drives it right into the fucking sea.
Absolutely.
So I was really fascinated with that. And Thea was correct on Jean Jacket. You have to see it to understand it. Danny,
I don't want to
spoil
say
any more.
I've heard such like mixed reviews of that movie.
But that's what happens
people
with
like
every
straight up saying
with
it's
every single movie that comes out. You can't trust.
It depends on
You just go see what.
No,
you
I know,
think.
but even like I've heard people say it's like not horror. Like, which I
disagree.
Get.
I mean, it's not. I don't think it's straight. I don't think it's straight up
that.
And down horror. I think there are horror elements that are probably terrifying that I've seen all year. And then
there's a consumption scene.
Epic, more in the style of like a Jaws.
Yes.
to me.
There's a consumption scene, Danny alone, that's almost horrifying, and just the sound design. Like people say, it's incredible. Okay, so
Scenes
you remember
in, like,
that
the original
movie?
Jurassic.
Do you remember
That's
that
what
movie
it
about
reminded me
the?
of.
It was like a sound engineer who was a killer trying to make the sound of people dying.
Oh,
like,
God, that was one of the worst movies.
It was so bad.
Noise, sound, noise. It was a girl. I forgot the name of the actress.
It was like the sound of something.
Sound of Violence.
Yeah.
Horrible movie.
Okay,
horrible,
I heard of that.
horrible.
It was not good.
The main actress, I had liked her in something else. I think it was in the Leftovers season. It is a horrible movie. She's in the new Scream movie. She was one of the brothers.
Oh,
okay.
Oh boy, what a piece of crap. Best music of the year for you guys, or new music that you listen to that you want to just suggest?
I've been re-listening to a lot of grunge. I've been getting back into like Soundgarden,
Anyone
like
in particular?
L7,
Oh, great, yeah.
Soundgarden, L7, Stone Temple Pilots. Like I've just been like revisiting it. It's good.
Thea, I know you go to a lot of concerts.
stuff.
Thea, who are you listening to?
I did. I mean, I went to see in the last year to see Lucious, and they're incredible.
What
they
is
had a really good
Lucious?
album last year. It's like
kind of
it's like
music do
kind
they
of
make?
like dance pop, electronic, and there's two singers. Hearing it live was
cool.
like
Lucious.
fucking cool.
Okay, Lucious.
But best album to me were, I mean, Beyonce, which sounds silly, but it was great. And
I mean, whatever. She's talented.
she's great.
There you go.
And
Go ahead.
Spoon, Lucifer on the Sofa was the other great album that I liked.
Lucifer on the Sofa? By who?
Lucifer.
What band is
The
that?
band is Spoon. Is the band?
Spoon. Okay, I felt like I've heard that.
Yeah, Spoon's been
okay,
around
so-
for a long time, but
Yeah, I feel like I've known that.
yeah.
So
I like the
got
name of
into
the
a lot
album. I'm writing it down. Lucifer on the Sofa.
So I've gotten into a lot of trip hop, chill wave music this year. Or I guess the older I get, I just want to relax.
Well, like the
A lot
old
of,
school
like,
trip hop or
saxophone,
new trip hop?
new and old. So here's just a list of them. So KRUDER and DORFMEISTER, or I guess German electronica guys. DJ Shadow. It was the first time I've ever heard. Because a lot of things I like to do is I like to walk at night, especially if it's raining or something like that. And I'm just kind of by myself, and I just put these basically like a soundscape. And like, if I can recommend anybody doing that, your favorite band or whatever, but if there's something that doesn't have any words to it, sometimes. But okay, so here's the list: KRUDER and DORFMEISTER, DJ Shadow, his debut album, I believe I had. It was fucking incredible, DJ Shadow. There's a band called Crustacean. This is a band I think, Thea, you should check out. They're like a weird, I don't know if you're into jazzy or whatever kind of, but it's musical kind of thing called DOMI and JD Beck, which one guy's the woman is a piano player and the other guy's a drummer. So it's like two people, but it's like so interesting. It's like weird not acid jazz, but weird jazz kind of thing going on.
Cool.
Droopy, called Black Diamond, which is a hip hop artist, but he used if you remember Sade, Smooth Operator, that singer.
Yeah.
He used all of her songs as the sampler. So it's essentially just like a Sade album with rap on it. It's great. Everything But the Girl was a classic like electronica band from the 90s, and they came back. They're great. Kelly Ali was the singer for the Sneaker Pimps, which is
she's still going?
incredible. She does her own.
They had a new album last year, didn't they?
Yeah, but it's not with
her.
Kelly Ali. It's not with her.
No.
And it's like I
saw them.
like
I saw them live without her, like twice.
With
okay.
her?
No, without her.
Oh, okay, yeah. I saw his band IMX without them, and I was like, I gotta get out of here. But she has an album, Kelly Ali. She had a movie called Ghost Driver, and it did something I've never heard, which is trip hop, but influenced, because one of the person who produced her album was one of the guys from Sneaker Pimps. So it's the closest thing you will get to a Sneaker Pimps album. And the thing about it that made me gave me chills and made me love it is that it's a trip hop album with heavy saxophone. And if there's anything that I realize I love now is like saxophones and music.
Look at you. You're like a porn guy.
Well, yeah, I guess. Liquid Todd was this DJ from New York City who had a show called Solid State, and I just listened to all his old mixes, so you can find it on YouTube. Men I Trust is this song that I found on Instagram. I think Thea would like this song. It's called it's a female singer, but it's called Men I Trust, and it's called Teach Me. So that's a good song. Caroline Polachek, I think Thea would like.
Oh yeah, I
she
do.
has a song called Billions. That's a great fucking song. I remember just seeing the video and I was like transfixed by it. Any books that you guys or audiobooks?
No, I have not done any reading really this year.
Really, yeah. So the books I've gotten into this year, it's mostly audiobooks. I believe it's getting worse. Cinema Speculation by Quentin Tarantino. It's a fascinating book. Like, I'm getting sick of listening to Tarantino. This is his second book. He actually wrote a novel based on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is a movie I really liked, and he expanded on the character. It's a really good book. It's surprising how good that book is. and how, if you've ever seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I don't know if you guys have seen that movie, but Brad Pitt's character in the movie is kind of genial, like nice but tough guy. But in the book, he's like, it's like scary how different, like how unlikable he is. And if he would have portrayed that character that way. I read a couple of slasher books, which are like little novels, like Camp Slaughter by Sergio Gomez. It's fun, sort of like 80s slasher book. It's good. Bret Easton Ellis is a writer that is like very like, I don't agree with him at all, and he came out with a book called The Show about these rich sort of socialite kids and dealing with a serial killer in California in the rich. I listened to his audiobooks. Bret Easton Ellis's books called Rule of Attraction and Less Than Zero. Incredible, fucking love those books. More of the same though, of like rich people problems, psychopathy.
He's definitely a good writer, but I hear he's like an asshole in real life. I'm
gonna send this one to Thea, but it's called The Laws of the Skies, because I think you like Yellow Jackets, right?
I do.
I don't know if you might like this, but this is if it all went bad.
What do you mean Yellow Jackets? Like the bee?
Yellow Jackets, the TV show, is about girls. Sorry,
that makes a lot more sense. I was like, why would you be asking her if she likes an
You should watch it.
But this is like Laws of the Skies is like it's a very brutal book. It's not like, it's just dark. And it deals with a like 12 6-year-old kids that are going on a camping trip, and it is not like, it is just bad. It's, imagine Lord of the Flies, but it just went even worse than what happened. And it's just a fascinating book. It's by a French writer. I don't know the name, but it's an incredible fucking book. And it's like I described it on the Twitter as like basic 6-year-olds getting fed. It's incredible how like fucked up things can go. What else do we have on docket? Do you guys have any movies that you're looking forward towards next year? I didn't even think about.
I do.
Go, Danny.
Movies or horror movies?
I have 2 that I'm looking 3 that I'm looking forward to, and 1 that I don't understand the point. Renfield, I'm excited for.
Same.
It will
just
be
because
funny.
of Nicolas Cage, right?
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage, but also it's cool. Like, no one's ever really done anything with this character.
Well, besides the Dracula
like
movie, yeah.
No, but I mean,
him at the center.
he's always the same thing. It's a crazy guy in a jail cell, like, or whatever. That's it.
Yeah.
Evil Dead Rise is coming out.
Yeah.
There's a new Evil Dead, which is going to be cool. Apparently, Bruce Campbell is like producing it, but he's not going to be in it. But like, he's producing. That's fine. He's
It's
involved.
funny because people are already like saying, "Oh, that's Demons. That's a plot of Demons," which is a great Italian demon. That's basically the same thing that they're going to do, regardless. Go ahead, Danny. What else?
I mean, it will have the Sam Raimi spin. I don't understand the point of a new Exorcist movie.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's by your favorite director, David Gordon Green, who did the Halloween trilogy.
Even worse.
Oh.
I'll tell you this: I saw Bones and All. Right? Which is great. And there was one actor that was horrible in the movie, and then I looked it up, and it was David Gordon Green. I was like, there he goes. He's come back to get me.
Oh God.
He's in it.
I just don't.
Like 5 seconds.
It's like
it's totally
unnecessary. When it comes to remakes, I
Especially
will
with what he did
clarify
with
that I'm not
Halloween.
against remakes in my next thing, but for Exorcist, it's a perfect movie.
Yeah.
Like, you're not improving it. So
Well, I mean,
just
you don't
stop.
lose Exorcist itself. You know
No,
what I
I
mean? So you
understand,
still,
but if you have
yeah.
nothing new to say or no improvement, then what's the point? Also, I am excited for Salem's Lot.
Okay.
Because
that movie was supposed to come out this year because it's done. It's been done already.
Oh, really?
And they keep changing the release date. So I don't know what that
Maybe
means.
that
if
means
that's a
they're
good or bad
tweaking
thing.
it. I mean, it's probably good. It means they're tweaking it.
They're making it more vampirific. And Danny, what
I
about
guess that's
Spider-Man?
like one of the only. That's the first memory I have of being scared of a movie. Was that movie?
Fair.
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, from the
Spooky.
commercials alone when I was a kid. Danny, no Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse?
I mean, well, I'm talking about horror, but yeah, no, of course.
No,
I'm
you can
excited.
do any film that you want to that you're interested.
Well, I was just focusing on the horror, but
Okay,
yeah, of
fair
course,
enough.
I'm
Go
excited for that, and I'm excited for a lot of MCU shit, I'm sure, and like, but as far as horror, those are the ones, and Exorcist, I'm not excited for. I just pointing out it's stupid.
Anything else making you interested?
Well, in addition to Danny's list, I'm interested to Scream 6.
Okay.
Because that could be fun.
Yeah. Half of it shot in, most of it shot in
Is
Canada.
it a sequel, like, or is it its own story?
No, it's like a sequel to the last
It's a sequel
one,
to the
basically.
the latest
new
one.
cast.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else there?
Infinity Pool.
Infinity Pool.
Beau is Afraid, I
Ben,
think is what it's called.
Beau is afraid. Beau is afraid. Right. So
I mean, everything that man does is
Yeah.
incredible, so I'm sure it will be
excited.
good.
Anything else there?
I'm weirdly interested to see Megan, though it looks so stupid and crazy. I just think it's gonna be funny.
Is that
It was
the?
that dance part. Yeah, it looks like a trash movie that's
Yeah.
gonna be fun, like just stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
I'll
it's gonna
probably
be like,
see it, but I'm not even quite sure
It's
what
like-
it is. But if you're
It's like
saying
a
I'll see it.
robot doll that's made as a friend for a young girl. Of course, she goes bad to protect her. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
So
the
the
Chucky
plot of
reboot.
Child's
Basically,
Play
yeah.
remake.
And
Child's Play
and there
reboot,
was
yeah.
also
I don't know why
I think it was somewhere a news item that was like there are plans for a Megan Chucky Annabelle crossover in the future. I was like, oh no.
I'd watch it. I don't know why you would
Okay.
build an android that can kill people.
I don't
like,
know.
I don't understand why.
And
you
then
would
give
build
it to a
something that
child.
would have the strength of. Yeah. Anything else? I'm interested in?
Those are the highlights. What about you?
Film what? You know, I was a very strange interested in seeing just from the trailer alone was the Barbie movie.
Oh yeah.
Because the Barbie
looks
trailer
good.
looked so good. I know that's weird, but the teaser for it was so good. I was like, I gotta check this out. And it has Ryan Gosling, and I like him. I didn't actually. There's a Pale Blue Eye with Christian Bale, which is like I love detective films that are like horror influenced, and it's about Christian Bale's like a detective. I assume the 1800s, with teaming up with what's his face, the guy who wrote
What's
the
his face?
Raven.
Everyone knows them.
The guy who wrote The Raven, Edgar Allan Poe. So he's. I can't really think of any other. I guess I will give a sympathy watch for Evil Dead Rise. I wasn't like the biggest fan of the Evil Dead remake.
Watch? What
People
the fuck
love,
is that?
People love the Evil Dead remake, and I wasn't one of those people.
I wasn't
because
either.
The thing that
Yeah, but a sympathy
But I'm
watch. I
intrigued.
mean, it's not like pitiable. It's gonna be
see.
good.
here's the thing: Evil Dead needs to have a little bit of wackiness to it for me.
How do you
'cause
know
that's what
this
I'm used
won't
to.
have wacky?
Because the last one didn't have wackiness.
This is a different
You
director.
But then they did an
Right.
entire
Serious.
show of wackiness.
Right?
Yeah, it was a
I
different
don't know.
director too.
Then
I mean,
I doubt there's going
Ash
to be like
vs.
him
Evil
doing.
Dead was completely wacky. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I like because that was Sam Raimi doing it. Sam
Yeah,
Raimi
yeah.
was a part of that.
Sam Raimi's
This
doing
one,
this one. What are you talking about?
but he produced the other one before that. Now it's serious. If I'm watching Evil Dead Rise and it's in a building, and if the woman fucking pulls a Three Stooges like move, then I'll be like, okay, this
Yeah.
is great. But if she doesn't, then it's gonna be like a regular generic a fucking movie. All right.
Just relax. It's gonna be
A movie
good.
that I keep hearing about a lot, The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Oh,
I hope
yeah.
they do that right, which is basically Dracula on a boat. You know the whole story about Dracula on a boat? They always leave that out of the film.
They should do a crossover with Renfield.
It's pretty cool.
That'd be great. I don't know if there's anything else that's interesting to me. Five Nights at Freddy's is something I would want to watch because Jim Henson are working on the
cool.
prosthetic monster film.
Jim Henson's
Jim Henson
dead.
Company.
Yeah, he came back. They brought him back. I can't really think of any other sort of horror films. Obviously, I want to see the Impossibles. Besides, Beau is Afraid looks. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So that moves us into the worst horror
Terrible.
films of this year.
I feel like we're all
Guys.
gonna agree on this. Wait, why don't we all say it at the count of three? Okay, I'll go. I'll say three,
I
two,
went
one,
pretty deep.
and then
I
we
saw.
say it.
Listen to me.
Let's
I
all-
saw
let's all
some
say
of the-
it.
I assume
Okay.
in three,
Three,
two,
two, one. Halloween ends.
Halloween ends. Okay, there you go. Okay, so we're. But here's the thing. I think there was a movie that's even worse than that. Two movies even worse
Which
than that movie.
one?
But Danny, why don't you get with your film?
That's it.
I saw
just only.
movies without
That's the
you
only
guys.
one that was like truly terrible.
Danny, you have any other movies besides that? That was the worst one you saw.
I mean, that was by far the worst one I saw. Yeah.
Okay, Thea.
I wouldn't say I'm not also want to qualify this with that was the worst. The other two I just didn't enjoy my list, and that's Men. Like Third Act, I thought they woofed it, and I
Okay,
just
fair
didn't
enough.
care.
I kind of like that
I
one.
liked the premise, and then I didn't like what they did with it. Killed it.
I understand what you mean. I could
and then
understand
the other
completely.
one, I watched, but it was my best friend's exorcism. I won, and it was.
I knew you were gonna bring that up.
rough.
I remember you saying that.
It
back
was
then
very
it was so
bad.
terrible.
I don't even know what
That's
you're
based on
talking
a-
about.
It's based on like a young
That's based on a
adult
book.
novel.
Is it Grady Hendrix
Okay.
is this writer who does like specifically horror novels, and he did a book that I read called the Scream Queens something club.
Oh,
or
yes,
Ex-Scream
yep.
Queen club, and it's basically like, and I listened to the audio book, and it was one of the worst books I've heard.
Oh really?
For me, at least. I just didn't. Maybe I didn't like the person reading it. I
Right.
just didn't like her, like the way she performed it. But I was like, this sucks because people love him because he did a whole. His original thing is that he did Paperbacks from Hell, I think, where he just talks about all the paper. And it's like, if he could write that book, anybody can fucking write that book because basically he was just summarizing other books. Like, oh, this
Right.
guy's brilliant. This guy's brilliant. And I was like, All he's saying is the name of the books and what happens in. But people thought, but he took the time to compile the book, so I would say at least he did work in that.
Right.
But there's anything yet for me to say that this is great. I follow him on Facebook, but there's nothing.
Apparently, there was a terrible remake of Goodnight Mommy.
I kept seeing it. Like I saw it pop up on Amazon.
I wouldn't even bother watching it because it's not going to be as good.
Just go rewatch the original.
The original is good, but I figured it out like 5 minutes into the movie. I don't want to spoil it here, but like I was like, wait a minute, that's like very obvious what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
When there's no acknowledgement of a character, you got your answer. Okay. When it's very blatant. Okay, so this is the worst films that are you done, Thea? That's it for you with the horror movies?
That's it for me. Yep.
I saw a couple really bad ones. For me, the top one, the worst because of expectations, is VENICIFRENIA, which is you guys don't know about it. It's an Italian horror film about people going to visit Italy. I guess it's some sort of kind of hostel without being locked up.
I'm gonna go to Italy.
And it's from the director of great movies like The Day of the Beast and.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's
Alex
really
D'Iglesias?
shitty. Alex D'Iglesias, and he has a show on HBO Max that people really enjoy, and he's a master at his. What was it? The Witching and Bitching is a fucking incredible film.
Oh, okay.
But this movie sucked dick. It was really bad, and I was like, this. It's like laziness, unbelievable laziness. I couldn't believe it.
I'm surprised.
The second worst movie of the year, and honestly, it is the worst movie of the year that I saw, is called Hurt, which is like the laziest slasher film I've ever seen. It opens on 3 minutes.
Did they use the song "Hurt" as their theme?
If that would, they would have gained the point. They would have gained the point.
Mm-hmm.
There's a shot in the opening. It's a movie that thinks it's like high art. They think they're like really classy. Because there's a shot on a tree for 3 minutes straight with nothing going on.
God.
It's one of those type of films, but it's like a person that doesn't know how to do that, and
Right.
it's such a piece of shit movie that I can't imagine that. Livid, that French movie we saw, Danny, about the ballet dancer.
I don't.
The haunted house with the vampires and the ballet people and all that
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
The French kids trying to rob it. That movie sucked.
It was so bad that I forgot it.
Worth it. I'm sorry I brought it up. Haul is I think it's Canadian horror film about a group of people that get attacked by, or they're a part of some sort of gas attack that's killing them, and it's literally
I'm still
a movie
little
where
confused that you chose men, Thea.
I didn't
whatever.
like it, man. What can I tell
We'll
you?
get to
It was
that.
because
No,
it's okay.
my expectations were so, and then it was very disappointing. But I felt.
Let me mansplain to you why you're wrong.
there were not enough men in the movie.
Yeah, that's
for
right. I wanted more tits in my face.
Good lord. Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot was boring as fuck. Stupid movie. I didn't like it. People, I guess, liked it because I guess they killed him. The Witch Part 2 was a movie I was looking for. It's called Witch Part 2, the other one, which is Part 1 is one of the best science fiction movies I've seen in years.
Oh,
and this
so it's
movie
not
came,
connected to Witch.
No. This is a Korean action. The first film, please watch that movie. I don't give a fuck if the second movie is bad. First movie is like basically the best X-Men movie you've seen that has nothing to do with X-Men. Incredible movie. The Witch Part 1, it's incredible. But The Witch Part 2 sucked. Obviously Halloween Ends, and I think that's that. Any other films that you thought were great this year that were not horror-wise? That you say, oh, this is great, people should watch it? Just quick list.
I am blanking on the movies I watched, so no.
Two movies that can come out with Pinocchio by Guillermo del Toro. Fucking really beautiful film. If you like The Devil's Backbone, we did The Devil's Backbone earlier this year, and it's very similar to that, where it's like very dark child film, very beautiful film, very beautifully stop motion. The only thing that's wrong with it is the music was boring. It's just go watch that movie. It's incredible. And I had seen parts of the.
Now that you told me to, I'm not.
You have to, yeah. It's on Netflix. But I saw parts of the Disney official remake of Pinocchio, and boy, is that really shitty. It's unbelievably.
It seems like all their remakes are shitty always.
Yeah,
like,
Lion
they seem
King
to have a
was
track record
bad.
for that.
But this is the guy who did, this is a pretty well-known director, Robert Zemeckis, who did Back to the Future. He just stopped. He
Doesn't
just fell
matter.
off.
I mean, I just don't see the point of live-action remakes of perfect movies. But I don't know. If a movie's really good, I don't see the point of remaking it. Unless you have something new to say, then it's fine.
I saw Glass Onion, which is a Knives Out sequel. I like that. And now I finally understand why people like Janelle Monáe. Because she seemed like no, but I'm telling you, there's plenty of things. I never hated her. She sort of was like and I'm sorry to make this connection to her. Like, she's like Machine Gun Kelly to me at first, where it's like a person that Hollywood keeps pushing on you, or Megan Fox, you know. What, like, why do I have to know about this person? But when I saw her in Knives Out, because she's like a
Megan
singer
Fox
and an
is
actor.
So hot. Oh my.
But Janelle Monáe is great in this movie, in Knives Out.
I don't know who it is, but I'll look it up.
Yeah, it's great. Other stuff, let me just get before we go to our top 10 shows that you should watch. BOSCH Legacy, it's a great show. Sandman, I saw the first episode and there's a lot of potential, which is great. I didn't watch all of She-Hulk. I watched the first 3 episodes. It's kind of boring. Rings of Power. I'm not a big fan of Lord of the Rings, so I don't know. I found it even more boring. No, I guess it's good, but I think it's only for hardcore, like, Lord of the Rings fans. People hated it just because there was like black elves.
I know somebody who loves it, but like,
crazy. What happened?
No, I know someone who loves it. I'm a big fan of the books, so I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I listen.
Let's do the
top 10
of
guys,
the
so we
year.
get the fuck out of here. We're almost done. Thea, your top 10 of this year.
Okay. To no surprise, Nope is on there. That's probably my number one of the year for me. Barbarian, obviously. Deadstream, we talked about, but you and I reviewed.
Yeah, that was a great film.
The Innocents, which we also reviewed, which was great.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
And very dark and real child actor performances, which is rare. Hellraiser, I really enjoyed. A lot of people did love the like heroine, but I thought it was a good idea to do an addict story at the center of it. Great job.
Yeah.
Prey. Okay. Couldn't have guessed we'd get a great Predator movie. Great Predator movie. It was. Bodies, which was deeply funny. It's goofy.
Everybody keeps. The only reason I wouldn't watch that movie is because it has this guy in it.
Which guy?
Another person that Hollywood's pushing onto you, Mr. Big Penis.
Oh, Pete Davidson.
His name.
Yeah.
With the Pete Davidson, yeah.
Wait, what's the name of the movie though?
It's called Bodies. Basically, like teenagers in a house for the weekend. They play a game and murder stuff.
It's the worst people you wouldn't want to know killing each other. Essentially,
yeah, which is why it's so fun and silly. Scream, I liked. I thought it was a very like unpretentious tribute to the originals, but also just what they had fun. Nice to see. I put X and Pearl as like kind of one.
Yeah,
on my
that's
list.
what I did.
I really liked the style of both of them, though it wasn't like my scene. But they did a really good job, and obviously Pearl is a great character. And my last was The Black Phone, which I think had a great villain design, and obviously Ethan Hawke's incredible, even if it was a bit slow.
Yeah, there seems to be a big backlash against that film now, though.
There?
It seems like people putting that on their worst list. I don't know.
I don't think it was the worst. I mean, it wasn't my favorite, but I think it was still
to me, it was kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
Although that scene with that guy that was like a really bad actor, like that kid, and he's like, "Oh,
the rock and roll.
I mean, that's memorable. That's my list.
Here's my. I guess I don't know what I've dragged on a lot. My top number one film that's not horror this year. Just you should watch it. It's called Banshees of Inisherin. If you liked, it's Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson. Banshees by Martin McDonagh. It's about these two guys in Ireland in the 1900s, and one guy just does not want to be friends with the other guys. And I've been both of these characters, so it was a really fascinating, beautiful fucking. Danny, I know how you love. Like we all saw Lord of the Rings, and we all were like, "Oh God, I would love to live in New Zealand." This does for Ireland what that did. I always hear Ireland is a beautiful place to go to.
What's it called?
Banshees
of
the Banshees of Inisherin. I've never seen a more beautiful looking place on film than this. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Ireland's supposed to be gorgeous. I've never been, but yeah.
Incredible. It's an incredible film. Martin McDonagh, he did a couple. I think I've seen most of his film. He did a film with Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell a couple years ago that I cannot fucking remember. That was an incredible movie. But go watch this movie. Anyway, okay. So here's my list. Coming down from 10, it is X and Pearl. X was the main course, and Pearl was a nice sort of pate side to it. I really like that. Really like both those films. Surprisingly Violent Night I ended up liking as a horror film. I saw some movie called Bloody Christmas, which is about a killer Santa Claus robot by Joe Begos. But this Violent Night was much better. It felt like an actual wholesome but extremely violent Christmas. Very much worth watching that. I liked Some Like It Rare, which is a movie that Thea recommended.
Oh, that was good.
French, a really good French comedy
that
film.
Was fun, yeah.
Like the comedy was like I have not seen any other movie this year that had that type of like black humor in it, where like dirty comedy that you for some reason cannot put out anymore because people are afraid of offending.
Maybe the Trip kind of had that vibe a little. I don't know.
Yeah, the Trip was fun too. Trip was a little. Yeah, it did. I liked the Trip too, but that was the first movie we did this year too. That was a good. I will also say Deadstream gets there. I really enjoyed Deadstream. Taking a character that I would not like and making them very funny and interesting. And obviously his VHS 99 was also one of the worst movies I've seen this year, but his segment in it was great.
Yeah.
Terrifier 2, I really enjoyed. It needs a lot of work in it. It needs a lot of direction and a lot of story work, but it was a miles above the original film, and Art the Clown is a great character. That's why it works.
He is.
Barbarian was a really solid film. When I first saw it, I was like, okay, but the more and more I thought about it, I was like really intrigued by what they did with this sort of very casual story and how many layers it has to it. And I was very appreciative that I got to think about something after I watched it. It was probably the movie that I thought about the most after I saw it. I will say, just as a fan of the director itself, Men, I'm putting it in a shared space like I did with X and Pearl.
I didn't like it. I didn't say it was the worst. The worst.
No. No,
Two people who feel very passionately in opposite directions.
I wonder why the
men
like
completely. Men. Here's the thing. I completely understand. I understand 100% with Thea. This isn't like a higher above. This is probably lower on the list, but
no.
I'm giving them
one of you numbers. Is right and one of you is wrong. And we have
here's
to
the
battle
thing.
It out.
Men is probably the worst of his films, but his worst is still a good movie to me.
Fair.
And I am adding it along with a film called Resurrection that I just saw, which is with Rebecca Hall with I forget the actor. He's an actor.
Tim Roth.
Thank you. And they are essentially the same film, and I think Resurrection gets his point across much more clear with men that are abrasive and controlling. And I think you guys should watch that movie. Resurrection, it's on Shudder. And I think they're both the same film, but one is like wildly artsy-fartsy and does get a little artsy, but is controlling and has a better role for the main female character. And rounding it up, I liked His House a lot, a movie that I believe came out in 2020. It's about these immigrants that moved to England, and the house that they're in is possessed by this sort of witch. It's fucking great. I don't want to say any more about it, but it's on Netflix. It's called His House. It's nice to see a different, film about a different ethnicity, different race type. Their thought on horror, and it reminded me a lot about how Candyman was well directed. Seeing it from a different perspective. Prey, obviously, I really enjoyed. I was very surprised at how well that was made. And much better than I thought it would be. With great, beautiful. I remember the beautiful shot of them moving through the reservation, and it's an incredible. Last two are going to be Nope, which is a movie that also grew on me, like Barbarian did. Where the more and more I looked at it, and I was like, this is a film much bigger than it is. And it changed my expectations of what it was, and I loved it for that. Notice that the movies that we really like, we're not super spoiling. And the last one, the top of the list for me, is Innocence. Because I think that's a film that was... Oh,
that's the same one. Yeah. That was good.
It's a beautiful film, and the writer of it, there's something about his work that's really interesting, and it's brutal. And I've never felt bad for a character more than in that film this year.
Yeah.
With other characters. I felt so bad for one of the characters in the film and their fate in that film.
Oh,
and it was so...
I won't spoil.
Yeah.
And it was so gratifying how an antagonist is dealt with in that movie. So when they could take you on both spectrums of that sort of,
it's so frustrating, though. Oh
it is, especially with his children, because children are like that. Like I said, it's very...
God, there's a scene in that... Oh, God, I'm getting angry thinking about it. Holy shit.
But that film is like I say, if you read any of Stephen King's books and you deal with how he deals with antagonists and characters that are killed in his books, that's very much that's the closest thing I've ever seen.
I remember the hair of the antagonist drove me nuts.
All right, so those are my top films of this year. Danny, what are your top 10 films?
They're very different from your guys, actually.
Good.
Well, I agree with you guys about Prey, so that's all three of us. That was a solid, fucking awesome movie, and it was cool, culturally too, to see the way people live and everything. Everyone should see that. I said Crimes of the Future because that one, movie. Thinking back on it, it's very disturbing. It was honestly very disturbing. It was a good movie. It's just so creepy. And What's-Her-Face is super hot in that as a deranged psycho.
Kirsten Stewart. I thought Kirsten Stewart and Leah Seydoux were quite beautiful. And people get, what's his name? Viggo Mortensen. So everybody's good Louis.
Hey, he's very unattractive, though, in that role. With
he's still a zaddy to somebody, I'm sure.
Those horrible phlegm noises. And, Okay, I chose Spine of
Danny,
the
that just
Night.
means his throat is nice and wet. Go ahead, Danny.
Ugh, Spine of the Night.
I forgot to put that on my list. That's also on my top.
What is
Yes,
that?
I agree with you. Spine of the Night is a rotoscoped
like
animated...
this, like super, like epic death metal fucking.
It's what
animation.
most people thought the Northman was gonna be, which is another fun movie. Northman I thought was pretty okay. Danny had us review it because it's not a horror movie. Yeah, I know, but you picked it, so. So, Spine of the Night is a movie that you can find on Shudder, which is a rotoscoped. It's very much like if you've ever seen Fire and Ice, which is a Ralph Bakshi fantasy movie.
Xena, I can't think of her name.
Xena Warrior Princess. It's funny because she's playing.
She's in like everything. She's in everything I love.
She's
and
the
I can't
best.
think
She
of
is
her
playing.
name.
It's funny because when her character,
Lucy
her character is nothing like her. What is they use different actors, but then had actual like film actors do the voices instead. So it's funny seeing her playing.
It's fucking cool, man. It's a good movie.
She's playing a full figured like lead character, which was interesting to see. But it was Spine of the Night is really fucking good. Just watch it. It's
everyone should watch it.
It's about as it's metal as fuck.
Super fucking metal. Like it's like
it's
the
super
best,
metal.
Like,
It's
metal.
great. Please go watch Spine of the Night. It's great. All right, what else, Danny?
I chose Mayhem, which was like a feel-good,
another great
romantic, cute movie. I liked it. It was very nice.
It's a movie about a disease that takes
Glenn
over.
from Walking Dead.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Stephen
okay.
Yeun.
I remember the
Stephen
trailer.
Yeun.
What's her
He's
face
great in
from
it.
Ready or Not?
Summer Weaving.
I can't think of her name.
There was a movie that
Hugo
people,
Weaving's niece.
There was a movie that people that really liked that the guy who runs DC now, the guy who does Guardians of the Galaxy, he did a movie similar to that about people killing each other in a corporate setting, and this came out at essentially the same time, and this was much better. Mayhem is a really fucking good. Mayhem is like because it has character in it as opposed to the other one just being sort of his jokes, that other guy's jokes. This one is more like centered. It's really good. Oh, what else?
This is the first time I ever saw it was when we reviewed Dracula 1992.
Yeah, beautiful movie.
What a great
movie.
I can't believe I hadn't seen it, but yeah.
A movie that goes by and you feel like nothing is, like no time has run by.
It's incredible. Everyone in the world should watch that movie.
There is no movie like that ever again. I have not seen a movie like that since.
Yeah.
It's like...
I chose Terrifier 2. I said Mad God because I thought about it a lot after the fact, and it was just so beautiful. Like,
it's a beautiful
the story
movie,
is
but
like whatever, but visually,
the story
like
falls
insane.
apart. But it's a gorgeous movie. It's an absolute gorgeous movie. They took 30 years to make, and it's worth watching. If you enjoy, I think that movie could have worked honestly if they just had Tool did the soundtrack.
Apparently, there's
Tool
like
did the
another movie related to it that came out, or
okay,
I don't know, but it's fucking good.
But Mad God is also on Shudder.
Okay, now this one I wasn't sure if we did it this year or not. I chose Malignant.
No, that was last year, but
was that last year or this year?
Just count it. Who cares?
In any case, it's like a whatever movie, but then all of a sudden, it's like the best movie in the world.
Yeah, the last half an hour is incredible of that film.
My
and it
mouth
makes it
was
worth
just
it.
hanging open. I couldn't believe it. Like, I love it. I love it.
There's kung fu physics in the last few minutes of the film.
I have thought of that third act so many times since it's come out.
It's great. It's incredible. It's beautiful. What happened in the jail? It's incredible.
Another mainstream one I chose was Smile, which I thought was really good, and that ending was incredible. I loved the whole, like, I won't spoil it, but what happens at the end, when it shows its form or whatever, is like incredible to me.
Like I said in our review, I think it's basically a Blumhouse version of It Follows, because they even, and somebody didn't bring up in the old review, is that they even have the scene of the creature coming through the doorway, and I was like, that was in It Follows, like the whole. Yeah,
I'm not saying it's an original necessarily movie, but it's a little creepy, and I've actually been.
It is It Follows. It's the same fucking movie. It's the same movie.
It's not this. It's not exactly the same. It's not exactly the same. And I woke up in the middle of the night.
How does a creature get you, Danny? The creature gets you by scaring you, and then you got to get another person to get scared. I think that sounds like
it climbs into you, and it's not. It's not a physical.
It doesn't
physically kill you. It's a curse movie, so they're all the same.
It's a curse movie, yeah. But the that last shot that I won't say what it is, but when there's like a stretching involved, beautiful shot and very unsettling. So it's a fun movie.
I love that.
I didn't say it's a bad movie. But it's a fun movie.
And I like the characters, and I don't know. I think it did a pretty good job.
No, it's good.
I mean,
it's fun. It's
all
great
these
directing,
movies are about character development in the end because they're all the same plot. Anyway, And I did choose Barbarian for my final, but I have to say the ending of Pearl. I didn't care about X at all, but the ending of Pearl, the credit scene, is the best credits I've ever seen.
She looks like she was gonna pop a vein in her forehead.
That was the best. No, I loved it. Like I could feel the pain in her jaw and shit.
Unsettling.
Oh, that was so great.
It was great.
But Barbarian, I say.
And I'm looking forward towards Maxine. Although Pearl, I think, didn't make as much money, but Maxine,
I don't
I'm
really
sure will do better.
You know, the movie was like, Pearl was definitely a better movie than X, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so.
X was generic. Pearl was like artsy and cool, but like, I don't know. I don't really care about Maxine.
I think there's an argument there, but fair enough. But I do think a lot more care went into Pearl. No, I think a lot more care went into Pearl. I know. Anything else, Danny?
No, that's it.
I saw just a brief thing. I saw Avatar, The Way of the Water. I liked it.
Was it good?
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay. Was it worth waiting like 20 years or something?
Yeah, because the last hour of the film is like, do you remember when action movies were fun in the 2000s? Like actual like big blockbuster, like movies you don't see anymore because everything is like, and I understand why people like Endgame and people like whatever, the Marvel stuff like that, but this felt like organic, so it was really interesting to see. It's bizarre to see essentially fucking Pocahontas, The Last of the Mohicans as a cartoon alien movie, but it was fun. It was fun. So that's all I can say. I can't say this is the greatest movie of all time, but I really Thor and Doctor Strange, I'm a big fan of that. But is there anything else? You guys have any final words for 2022? Did you guys think the year, more to it?
For horror, I think it was a great year. Smile made tons of money. Terrifier made tons of money. For my life, I think it is a better year than last year, and I'm looking forward to the next year.
Yeah,
I agree with all of that.
Yeah,
also, watch Everything Everywhere All at Once. That was the one I forgot to mention.
That's the one I gotta see. I gotta watch that one. I figured I would see that film first, but not get sent. So I would say that I thought 2022 was a great year for horror. I'm glad that it came back. I'm glad movies are being made with care and stuff like that. Also, I saw Wakanda Forever, which I thought was, and I didn't think I was going to be into it because it didn't have Chadwick. Obviously, you can have Chadwick Boseman, but I think they handled it really well. And it was,
they could have done a weekend at Bernie's. It's called Wakanda Forever.
No. And also I got to say, what was the funniest thing for your people? What was the funniest thing? Was there anything that was the funniest thing in the year for you guys?
What, like in real life?
That you thought, something that you thought was the funniest thing to you that made you like laugh the whole.
No? I mean, not funny, but pathetic. Miserable? I could think of plenty of things.
Do you have an example?
The one thing that
what's your example? Give the example.
I can't mention what it is because it's something that Danny said to me about a celebrity that passed away.
Oh no, I don't know what it is.
Don't say it, Danny. I won't say what it is because I was like, oh, this is a person that I remembered, and then Danny said something was like, Danny's phrase was, then I'm glad he's fucking dead. And I cannot stop.
Oh, we're talking about the recent
No, don't say it. Don't say it. Huh?
You're talking about what I said like earlier today?
Yeah. No, you said it a while back about this celebrity. And I cannot stop laughing because I wasn't really like tethered to this actor or actress. I cannot stop laughing at how cruel and inhuman that line was because it was very cruel. I cannot stop laughing at how funny that was. And I appreciate that, Danny, that you made me laugh that hard. I'm still laughing about it. I'll think from it to time to time. I think that's the funniest fucking thing.
I'm curious who it was about, but don't tell me yet.
We'll say it after.
Tell me after.
So with that, my final word of the year is, Thea, what's the final word of the year for you?
Thank God.
Danny, what's the
I can't remember the name of the main villain from Donkey Kong Country 2, but he's kind of like a reptile, crocodile thing, pirate.
Also, we're looking forward towards the Mario Brothers movie. Also, everybody, goodbye. Everybody say adios. Adios.
Happy New Year. Adios. 2022.